Hello everyone and welcome to this unboxing. In this one we're going to be checking out the Avanti army box for the Italians for Flames of War. This has a fair amount of tanks in it, some artillery, some anti-tank as well. In fact, quite a lot of anti-tank. I think this has the most towed artillery pieces in any of the starter boxes I've actually seen. So yeah, let's crack it open and have a look. So the Avanti box really is a box that is going to be designed for people that like gun lines. The Italians, notoriously, their tanks aren't very effective against the kind of stuff that the British and the Americans are bringing to the table. However, that's balanced out by having artillery and two different kinds of anti-tank gun. So, as you can see here, it's 10 vehicles and 12 guns. It's really very much a gun line with a bit of armor thrown in if you feel like you need it. So let's open it up and let's have a look at the sheer stack of stuff that we're going to get. So there's some bubble wrap, great, good, need plenty of that. So as you can imagine, we get first our Start Here booklet. So let's open it up here and let's see what we get. So it's a 75-point list in the box with a couple of, what is that, one tank platoon with company HQ, Simoventes, we get 5 of those, 4 anti-tank guns, 4 47mm anti-tank guns, 4 88s, and 4 howitzers. So very much a supporting kind of force. The tanks probably don't offer that much of a punch. Let's actually, because I'm very curious about the Italians, why would you want to field them, possibly even in a competitive list? Why would you want to do that? Or is it that the joy of Italian or playing Italian is more in the infantry perhaps than the vehicles? Because this is strong. This artillery is strong. Particularly having 88s in the list is very, very good. And the armor, the tanks themselves, low front armor, their firepower, their anti-tank ratings aren't the best. Yeah, I can see why you're not really going to have a lot of tanks in your list. You're definitely going to be looking at towed anti-tank guns, artillery, and probably infantry as well. However, I'm not as familiar with mid-war as I am with late war. So let's just check it out and have a look. Also, word to the wise, if this is your first purchase, like any of these army boxes, your first purchase, do intend on building them when you get them out of that box, because they are not going back in the same way they came out. So here we have the A5 rulebook, a couple of decal sheets for the armor. We have our stat cards in there as well, including all our gun crews, and we have a singular dice. That's got to be a mechanic that I don't understand yet, so that might be worth looking into at a later stage. However, we have all our artillery crews and stuff here, all done in Battlefront's resin, which for this scale works really well. I've said it in a lot of videos. I just love the quality of those resin infantry that they do. So let's move all that to the side. We've seen a few of these now in some other unboxings. Go check those out if you're curious for a bit more information on what they're like. All our bases for our guns. And then we get on to the tanks. There's a lot of this because there's a lot of sprues. One of these sprues does both types of tanks. So your M1441s and your Simoventes as well. So all of these are your 11 tanks. Okay, so that's all your 11 vehicles. They look like a pretty simple kit. I've not managed to build one yet. I will hopefully get around to that and perhaps paint one up too, just to see what they're like, and I can give you a bit more fair feedback on that. But at the minute, these look pretty good. Modularity is potentially good for making both tank variants out of the one sprue. Again, I haven't built one yet, so I don't know. Then we get our 88s, which if you're a German player, you're familiar with the 88 sprue. A very simple kit to put together and very nice in its detail as well. Probably one of my favorite artillery models in the game. Then we have our towed artillery, our 105s I think these are. Again, not built one of these before. I love this big gun shield with the sort of integral mudguards built into it. Seems quite interesting. And again, something I've not built, but looks pretty straightforward. Very small number of parts on that sprue, quite like that. And then we have the 47mm, which are the smaller ones. Again, 2 guns to the sprue, which is great, because you get 4 of them, you get 2 sprues. So all pretty straightforward there. I think we'll head back to my front shot here and talk a little bit more about this box set and what I think is some interesting choices in this one. So there it is, the Avanti box. And as I said, I think this is a gunline army. This definitely feels like a gunline army, something that you want to potentially bait opponents towards, you know, force them to come into range of your anti-tank guns or set them up in ways that makes it much of an area denial force, because you're not going to be relying too heavily on your armor with such low statistics on the cards, like front armor 3 or front armor 4. I'm not sure how the Italians play in Flames of War. I've never played with or against an Italian army. So you more experienced guys can let me know in the comments and guide other people. Perhaps I'm getting it wrong with gun lining with the Italians from this box. Maybe I'm not wrong. Again, you informed players, you experienced players, you know, comment below and tell new players or tell other players what you think would be a good way to employ this box set. Now, as I admitted, I don't know a lot about Italian armor. It's something I am going to start looking into. I know the Tank Museum's YouTube has recently, at the time of filming this, has recently actually done a tank chat on the M1441. So I'm going to watch that a couple more times and get a better grasp on how the Italians approached armored warfare in general. It definitely doesn't seem like they put as much effort into it as nearly anybody else, bar the Japanese. Although the Japanese did put a lot in. Definitely a lot. Okay, yeah, fine, right. They did not put a lot of effort into their armored force with having to fight Western opponents in mind. Put it that way, be the easiest way to say it. Apart from that, I think this is an interesting box. I actually do like the mix of guns and tanks in this one. Infantry. I don't know if it's any good for the Italians or not. I need the stat cards in my hand to figure that out. Anyway, as always, thank you so much for watching. Drop your comments down below, and I'll see you again soon.
Go ahead and check out our other content on screen now. And while you're at it, why not hit subscribe and remember to ding our dong. Go on, you know you want to click it. Go on.